On Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a house fire in Victoria overnight. We'll share what we know as the investigation continues. After the passing of a venue project in May, the city is working on funding for a multi-million-dollar project. Plus, new details in an Idaho ambush that left 2 firefighters dead.
Sun's coming up here in the Crossroads, a live view from Victoria College. And it's hard to see, but you kind of see a little bit of hazy appearance to the sky. That's the Saharan dust. What does that mean for our weather here? Find out coming up.
And the state 7-on-7 revealed their top honors from this past week. We'll find out who won later on in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to July. We made it to July.
We
Trey.
did, yes.
And we still have a generator giveaway going on our website.
Aztec Ford is.
That's right. And we're still in the height of hurricane season, so it could be a good
Exactly.
idea if you don't have one.
It'd be a perfect thing to have. Hopefully we won't be impacted by hurricane this year, but you never know.
Hopefully not.
Don't know what the future holds.
And it could be a lightning storm even that takes your power out.
Yes, exactly. So it's best to be prepared. Buy a generator, of course, and go to our website and register for that. And we'll be giving it away before too much longer. So keep tuned to us and we'll let you know. All right, let's take a look at the live view once again. 73 degrees in Victoria right now, and humidity level still above 90%, just about as saturated as it can get out there. You're definitely feeling that if you're walking out about this morning with the humidity quite high. That's important because the moisture in the atmosphere is what's needed when the daytime heating gets going later on today. It lifts some of that moisture up and helps to build clouds skyward and brings showers and thunderstorms to our region here. That's exactly what we're anticipating later on today. Not as widespread as yesterday, but a few around. And already beginning to form along the coast. You see right there south of Port O'Connor and Calhoun County, working our way inland. High temperatures today, even hotter by the afternoon. Main range to the west. We'll take a look at the full forecast a little bit later on in the full 7-day outlook. A little bit later on this half hour. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. The Victoria Fire Department responded to a house fire last night around 10 p.m. near Anaqua and Laurent Streets. When firefighters arrived on scene, smoke was visible coming from the home. Within 10 minutes, officials were able to contain and put out the fire. The Victoria Fire Department confirmed that the fire started in the kitchen, although the investigation into the exact cause is still ongoing. The resident who was inside managed to escape with minor injuries and declined hospital treatment. Several pets inside of the home also survived the fire. On Sunday, a woman was killed and 3 people were injured in a crash near State Highway 35 and Farm to Market Road 1593 involving 3 vehicles, a Dodge Dakota, a Ford Fusion, and a Dodge Ram. Adriana Carranza Coronado, 45, died at the scene. Other occupants of the Dakota, none of whom were wearing seatbelts, were seriously injured and taken to a Victoria hospital. State Trooper Ruben San Miguel reported the Dakota was traveling northbound on Highway 35 at unsafe speeds in hazardous weather, causing it to hydroplane, cross the center line, and collide with the Ford Fusion. The Dodge Ram then hit the Ford Fusion from behind. The collision remains under investigation. The funding of the Victoria Community Center project is on the City Council agenda today. They're looking at implementing an additional 2% hotel occupancy tax for a venue project that was approved by voters during the May 3rd election. During the election, voters approved that 2% increase to the hotel occupancy tax and the introduction of a 5% motor vehicle rental tax to help fund the $35 million project. New details about the firefighters' ambush while responding to a wildfire in northern Idaho. The suspect, now identified, the motive remains a mystery. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimber.
This morning, new images of the suspect accused of luring firefighters into a deadly ambush in Idaho. Family members say 20-year-old Wes Rowley dreamed of one day becoming a firefighter himself, but police saying he deliberately started this wildfire in Canfield Mountain Sunday, then opened fire on first responders as they approached the scene.
I'm pinned down behind Battalion 1's rig. It's clear to me that this fire was set intentionally to draw us in.
2 battalion chiefs were killed. 52-year-old John Morrison, a 28-year veteran of the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department, and 42-year-old Frank Harwood, a 17-year veteran of the County Fire and Rescue. Engineer Dave Tisdale was badly wounded. Police say the suspect interacted with firefighters before the shooting after they asked him to move his vehicle.
It had something to do with his vehicle being parked where it was.
Police say the suspect appeared to be living out of his car. His grandfather says he's heartbroken.
Nobody wants to think that their son or grandson is going to go do this.
Also quoted saying his grandson had actually really respected law enforcement, had been in contact to get a job with a fire department, and wanted to be part of a team that he sort of idolized. Authorities now revealing they exchanged gunfire with the suspect as they were trying to retrieve the bodies of the fallen firefighters and pushed his vehicle off a cliff.
The SWAT teams were taking fire from the suspect, and they were so concerned that the suspect would wheel around and try to take one of those vehicles that they actually pushed his vehicle off a cliff and then took out the wheels of the firefighters' vehicles.
6 hours later, authorities removing the suspect's body, they say he had taken his own life. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
El Campo police are looking for a man connected to a deadly shooting at a convenience store Sunday afternoon. Officers were called to the beverage while on Palacios Street just after 4:20, where they found 37-year-old Nico Ray Desis with a gunshot wound to the head. He was transported to the hospital where he died. Police say Desis got into an argument with this man, 32-year-old Brandon Dwayne Stevens from the Rosenberg area. Stevens is now wanted for murder and is considered armed and dangerous. If you know where he is, call the El Campo police at 979-543-5311. Victoria Parks and Recreation mosquito sprayers are buzzing around trying to get rid of mosquitoes. 3 areas were resprayed since Thursday. Victoria Parks and Recreation has resprayed 9 of the city's 18 zones, along with a citywide spray that ended June 23rd. The Victoria County Public Health Department had a team in the Bloomington area Monday, treating areas of standing water to help reduce mosquito breeding sites. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock. It is 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A hometown star is shining bright on the national stage with an impressive achievement.
Lawmakers working through the night on President Trump's tax and spending plan. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with what comes next for the president's big, beautiful bill.
Watching a few rain showers forming along the coast, building their way inland as we head through the morning hours. Hot temperatures again today. What does the rest of the week hold and your holiday? We'll take a look coming up. Good morning, weather time again for your Tuesday, and dealing with some rain showers this morning along the immediate coast. They're building their way inland as they work through the rest of the morning and the afternoon, so don't be surprised if there's another rain shower or a brief thunderstorm over your neighborhood this afternoon. But the chances are smaller than they were yesterday. Yesterday was 50%, and we're calling about 30% today. So the chances of you remaining dry are increased, and you can thank partially to that the Saharan dust coming in off the African coast. See another plume waiting in the wings there near the Cape Verde Islands. And a little bit of break as they head toward the Caribbean Sea. Another little area of dust near Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, and the Bahamas. While we're here in the northwestern Gulf, and some of this is moving inland as we speak. We already have a kind of a milky appearance to the sky this morning as we looked at SkyCam. The main concentration will be from Victoria to Houston to Beaumont to Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So it's really a hazy appearance of the sky out there in areas near southeastern Texas and toward the coast of Louisiana and Mississippi. So dealing with that, kind of a milky appearance of the sky I've been saying, so that's why that's happening. Once again, Barry, we've been watching that. It's now pretty much history. We're at low in Mexico, but still bringing that moisture causing heavy rainfall in areas near Tampico. And a little bit of moisture here, enough for some rain shower chances. But this will be going away, and we'll be drying up. What about the holiday coming up? And the hot temperatures expected even hotter by the weekend. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on in the full 7-day outlook.
Happy Tuesday morning here, Crossroads. Last week we had two Crossroads teams in Ganado and Tidehaven. They compete for the Division III State 7-on-7 championship out there in College Station. And last week Tidehaven win 34-21. They'd win their school's first ever State 7-on-7 championship. With this accomplishment now, Dave Campbell's revealed the top players though from this past week. And here's the list with quarterback there for Tidehaven, Cale Russell. He was named the best quarterback out of all the quarterbacks mentioned out there in the State 7-on-7. Another Tidehaven player made the game-winning touchdown and then later would get the game-sealing interception there, and Bryce Silva, he was big there as well there for Tidehaven. He's a linebacker, also be wide receiver going into this year. For Ganado, wide receiver Austin Pena is named one of the top wide receivers. He's going to be a person to watch with the new quarterback there in Ganado, Landon Arriaga. And again, they're defending 2A Division I state championship for Ganado, so these teams are going to play again. So for Ganado, they're going to try to get some revenge there. They're going to be at home though versus Tidehaven. They'll be on September 19th for that rematch from that State 7-on-7 clash. And this is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning on Capitol Hill, lawmakers worked through the night as they tried to push through the president's tax and spending proposal. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, lawmakers working into the early morning hours on a series of Senate votes on amendments to President Trump's sweeping domestic policy bill.
Let's vote. This is good for America. This is good for the American people. It's good for working families.
The bill includes nearly $4 trillion in tax cuts, along with new funding for immigration enforcement and defense. It would also eliminate taxes on tips and overtime. However, critics point to the proposed cuts to Medicaid, despite President Trump's promise not to cut the program. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office predicts nearly 12 million Americans would lose their health coverage over the next decade. Not only do Senate Democrats oppose the legislation,
it is caviar over kids, hedge funds over health care, Mar-a-Lago over the middle class.
But some members of the president's own party have panned it.
We're going to make sure that we fulfill the promise, and then I can feel good about a bill that I'm willing to vote for. But until that time, I will be withholding my vote.
The White House says the critics are wrong and is telling Republicans to get in line.
The president is very well aware that this bill needs to not only pass out of the Senate, but it needs to go back to the House, and we need the full weight of the Republican conference to get behind this bill.
Jumping late Monday into the fray, Elon Musk again slamming the bill for adding to the debt and now threatening Republicans who vote for it, posting on social media that he plans to fund candidates to run against Republicans who approve the bill, saying, quote, "They will lose the primary next year if it's the last thing I do on this earth." President Trump hit back at Musk, saying that DOJ should take a good hard look at the government subsidies he gets for his business. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support eliminating taxes on tips and overtime as proposed? All right, let's take a look. 76% of you say yes, 23% of you say no, and 1% of you say you're unsure. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. A big shout out to Moulton's own Kaylee Trejo, who just made the state proud on the national stage. Kaylee, the youngest ever Miss Texas Universal, competed at the Universal Miss National pageant this weekend and walked away as first runner-up in the entire country. She also snagged awards for most photogenic, best formal wear, and even earned a billboard in Times Square. Kaylee's platform focuses on mental health and suicide prevention, and a message as powerful as her performance. Congrats, Kaylee. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:45 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, a shocking development in a high-profile murder case is changing everything. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Elizabeth. Happy birthday to the best mom ever. Love from Faith and Fidel Jr. Love you, Mom. We hope that this year brings you joy, happiness, and healthiness, and that today is filled with everything that makes you happy. You deserve all the joy and love in the world.
And speaking of happy birthday to Missy Elliott. The R&B singer is 54 today. Happy birthday, Missy. To see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on the drop-down menu and click the home tab and you'll see submit your birthday photo right there.
Speaking of which, I need to submit a birthday wish for my
Please
brother.
do. Yes, it's tomorrow's birthday.
Tomorrow's his birthday. All right, and the time is now 6:46 on our Tuesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today, or maybe you're celebrating later this month. We'll be right back.
Okay, good morning. Meteorologist Trey Mining here. Let's take a look at the temperatures today. Starting off in the 70s this morning and be rising throughout the day, of course, well above 90 degrees by noontime. Dealing with a few rain showers and storms here in the atmosphere within the daytime hours. Well, afternoon would be really kind of narrowing it down for you. And once again, high temperatures near 90 degrees. Add that humidity factor in, the feel like temperature well above 100 degrees by the afternoon time, by about 3 o'clock or so. A few rain showers along the coast, building their way inland throughout the day, and the daytime heat kind of expanding as we go through the rest of the time period for the day today in the afternoon. And they'll be gone by about sunset. And then calm winds this morning in Victoria currently, and maybe about 5 to 10 miles per hour at best by the afternoon. Scattered rain shower and storm in the forecast area here. 30% chances. Extended forecast for us, keeping the rain chances in today. Very small chance, 10% for your Wednesday, and that's going to be it. Cutting the rain off, keeping it hot for July 4th. 93 degrees by then. Triple-digit heat index value by the afternoon time. Even hotter by the afternoon times for Saturday, Sunday, and the Monday. Mid to upper 90s, that's the air temperature. And heat index value 105 or higher. So the plans for the July 4th holiday weekend, they want to bring it inside, at least take breaks in the afternoon time if you're out during that time. And drink plenty of ice water, keep you cool, and stay hydrated. Lows in the 70s, of course.
The man accused of killing 4 Idaho college students has agreed to plead guilty to avoid the death penalty. At least one of the victims' families say they're outraged by the deal. Here's ABC's Lina Moisey.
A surprise twist in the Idaho murder case that gripped the nation. Bryan Kohberger, the accused killer of 4 University of Idaho students, now agreeing to plead guilty. He was facing the death penalty, but now under a deal reached with prosecutors, he'll serve 4 life sentences with no chance of parole.
That's huge. That means that the police found their man. That means he's admitting and maybe just knows he's cooked with all the evidence they have on him.
In a letter sent to family members of the victims, prosecutors writing, "This resolution is our sincere attempt to seek justice for your family. This agreement ensures that the defendant will be convicted, will spend the rest of his life in prison, and will not be able to put you and other families through the uncertainty of decades of post-conviction appeals." In November 2022, Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were found murdered in this off-campus home. Authorities say Kohberger's DNA was found on a knife sheath at the scene. The criminology PhD student at nearby Washington State University was arrested more than a month later after driving cross-country to his parents' home in Pennsylvania. Various people from Kohberger's past were put on notice they may have to testify, including a former teacher, boxing coach, and friend who reportedly described Kohberger as a self-conscious, overweight teen and a brilliant student with special needs. The defense previously pointing to his autism spectrum disorder. The case was set to go to trial this August, but now the families won't have their day in court.
It was definitely a victory for the defense because there was a good chance that Kohberger was going to get the death penalty. But I just think that it's not full justice because if anyone deserves the death penalty, it's this guy.
The family of Kaylee Gonzalez blasting prosecutors, saying 4 wonderful young people lost their lives, yet the victims' families were treated as opponents from the outset. We weren't even called about the plea. We received an email with a letter attached. That's how Latah County's prosecutor's office treats murder victims' families. Public opinion on the plea deal appears split.
I've talked to some people who are actually say they're mad because they wanted to learn more about what was really going on during the trial. And now it looks like that evidence is going to be locked away.
A motive for the murders is still unclear. As for what's next, a court hearing is set for tomorrow. The state is also seeking restitution for the victims' families. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A major new effort is underway to tackle a pressing issue in New York. New York is launching a new initiative to combat gun violence. On Monday, Governor Kathy Hochul announced nearly $350 million in funding for prevention programs and tougher enforcement of existing gun laws. The new initiative focuses on eliminating the flow of illegal firearms into New York City. It will also help strengthen current gun laws and expand community-based intervention programs. A young girl and her father were rescued from the Atlantic Ocean after she somehow fell from a Disney cruise ship, and he jumped in after her. Somehow the young girl fell from the fourth deck of the ship despite the boat's plexiglass safety barriers. Disney crew members launched a rescue boat within minutes and were able to reach both the father and his daughter and pull them to safety. Lawyers are challenging President Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship. This follows a Supreme Court ruling that class action lawsuits are the only legal way to block his policies. Attorneys from New Hampshire and Maryland quickly filed such lawsuits while an administration lawyer plans to oppose them. On Monday, a procession took place in Idaho for 2 firefighters killed in an ambush. The firefighters were taken to Spokane as part of a procession with firefighters, police, EMS, and other first responders. Several members of the public gathered on overpasses in Idaho to show respect for the fallen firefighters. The Golden Crescent Regional Commission says upgrades to the 911 system could temporarily impact 911 texting services through July. Several Crossroads counties, including Victoria, Jackson, Goliad, Gonzales, Lavaca, and DeWitt could be impacted. If you try to text 911 and receive a message saying the service is unavailable, just call 911. Voice calls will not be impacted during the upgrade process. The population of Texans aged 65 and older grew faster than any other age group since the start of the decade. That's according to the U.S. Census Bureau data released Thursday. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at that forecast. I know it's full of humidity, Trey, and maybe some showers.
A few rain showers, yes. Full of humidity, no doubt about it. Near 100% humidity level out there, as saturated as it can get. And that's going to be important to give a few rain showers in our area today. About 30% chances, not as widespread as yesterday. A few will be around. Highs in the 90s, of course. I had the humidity level in. We're getting near 100-degree heat index value by noontime to about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And a small rain chance for your Wednesday, but you see the trend here. Beginning to see more sun and less rain coming up by Thursday. So far on your Friday, which is Independence Day, July the 4th, we'll have sunny skies, a few clouds floating around, high temperatures in the 90s. That's air temperature, heat index value above 100 degrees by then. So any outdoor activities, be mindful of the heat, drink plenty of water and find some shade and be hydrated and stay safe. And hot weekend ahead and for us, creeping near the upper 90s by the end of the weekend for us here.
We just got to be thankful we're not in the hundreds yet. I hear they're closing.
Not yet.
They're closing the Louvre early today in Paris.
I know it's been hot around the entire globe.
Very, very hot. And we want to thank y'all for being with us. Join Shauna Dawn, Maclovia, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Stay cool today.